We'll begin this meeting with the usual meditation. So let's relax. Take a few deep breaths and come gently and softly into this moment. If you are comfortable, close your eyes and relax your body. Feel your still, quiet body in the chair. Notice your breath. Give your breath love. Feel love all around from everyone here as we come together with a beautiful intention. In this moment, I release all that does not serve my vision of the beautiful new earth, my peace of mind, and my love for everything. I pause and affirm that I am light. I am love. I am infinite consciousness. Everything I think, everything I say, everything I do is in service to the divine voice within. In every moment, I open to allow the grace, the wisdom, and the increasing light that is my destiny to experience in this life. I open more in every moment to allow the inner magnificence of my being to come into this world and serve the transformation of Earth into a new Earth, one where love is Lord. And so it is. And so it is. Stay a few moments in silence. Welcome, everyone. It's so great to see you guys again after about 3.5 months recess due to our move from Virginia to Texas. But we're coming back with a bang and even more inspired and excited about what's to come with this group and with the world. The speakers we will enjoy in the coming meetings seem to have appeared all in a few days, like suddenly being dropped from the ethers. This has convinced me it is time for us to act. Become New Earth people now and contribute to the upliftment and expansion of everyone. As we've discussed in previous meetings, we can do this in real simple ways, can't we? Greeting people with a smile, performing random and simple acts of kindness. We have made a lot of intentions about this in our last gatherings. And now I think it's time for us to really go forward and be ourselves the transformation. We will discuss this in the coming meetings and again in a group discussion later. So I see a few new people here joining us. Welcome. We hope you will join our meetings. If you received a link that was forwarded to you by a friend, then you may want to join our mailing list, and then you can get notifications and reminders of our meetings and updates and news and all kinds of stuff. And the easiest way to get on the mailing list is to send me a note on the email address at janicecoyle.org. There are other ways, but this is real simple. Janice at janicecoyle.org. And in a couple of days, I'll be sending the new people links to our website, our YouTube channel, our Facebook group, and links to specific pages on our website that will fill you in on our mission and goals and just some interesting things maybe you would like to read. Okay. So also most of our meetings are recorded and placed on YouTube and the website. So you will be also notified when each recording is made available. Okay, welcome again. We also, by the way, send out follow-up emails for our guest presentations with links on their for their websites and things like that. There will be many links you will want handy after tonight's guest, Ben Bowler, speaks. He'll be joining us from Australia at 7:30. So we have a half an hour. As you will learn, Ben is extremely busy with the coming global event, Peace Week, which will celebrate the 40th anniversary of World Peace Week. So we're really grateful and honored that he is fitting us into what must be an exhaustive schedule. And what an honor anyway to have such a dedicated person with us tonight. A dedicated person, dedicated to serving the emergence of a new world, a new earth. We're all here because we want the same thing, don't we? And in our own ways, we are also dedicated persons. And as we know, to have a new earth, we must first envision it, right? And then believe in it. We've discussed this also before. And we know that where our attention goes, energy goes. But right now, I mean, after the last year or so, it's kind of difficult, and I know this for sure, to focus on the new when the old is falling and so loudly falling in our faces. The turmoil, the chaos. But as we've learned, chaos is always a precedent, isn't it, to transformation. That's science. So we look out and see all the darkness, but let's look again. Let's look at what is happening along with the breaking down of systems. The truth is, and if we look, we'll find it, that lights are shining. Good is being spread around the world. There are points of light everywhere around us, in our communities, in our neighborhoods, in our country, in the world. So let's look, and tonight we'll have a huge opportunity to look. Transformation is happening and is being birthed by people just like us, people who have a vision, a wish to change, a wish to help, who use their creativity to act in new ways, bring love, understanding, reconciliation, new energy techniques, new ways of transforming and healing ourselves and our planet, new forms of spiritual energy, and those who are simply and powerfully offering themselves in the form of forgiveness and appreciation for everyone in the world. Pretty cool, huh? And then when these things happen, and we see these things happen, uniqueness appears to us and everyone, synchronicity, guidance and support, coming from places we would never suspect. I know you all have probably experienced this. And these graces are appearing right here in the midst of all this stuff going on. So I'll say again, let's focus on these. And our focus and our attention is a powerful power support for the emergence of New Earth. The next few meetings will show you and hopefully prove to you that in the midst of what seems like nothing but darkness, that is just simply the old falling away so the new can emerge. And it is emerging all around. Again, Science shows that every natural transformation is always preceded by chaos. And that's what we're in now. So let's focus on the new arising. The new is unnoticed by the media, isn't it? By the general news, by many even spiritual groups. But the points of light out there are doing incredibly remarkable things. Bringing peace, love, enlightenment, nourishment, cure for us and all of nature. In the last 3.5 months, I've experienced so much kindness and assistance amongst people here and everywhere. People carrying my bags, offering help with our new house, gifts of new friendship from strangers. Someone knowing nothing about me said simply, "Can I be your friend?" I was so touched. Can I be your friend? I got to remember that. Say it to the trees, the animals, all the deer we see around, the scorpions I may very likely encounter here, and of course, the people. The people. There was a quote from someone saying, "If you look, you will find, and if I look, I'll find friends. I'll find help. I'll give help." So let's look and let's listen and put our attention and energy on the many people and organizations that are helping to bring about the new earth. So if we're looking and we're even better at participating, it's easy to ignore all the following stuff. It's easier to be happy. Our consciousness expands. We're happier. Our creativity comes more. Wouldn't it be fun to have joy with people acting on our mutual dream of a world where love is Lord? It's healing to us as well. So let's do it. Okay. One of the things I've noticed is these lights that are helping to create a world is a world always where we feel one with everything and we would feel one with all. And looking at some of the groups out there that are doing good works, in almost every description, they talk about our oneness, our commonality, our sharing, and things like that. It seems like the core motivation for one of these simple groups we're going to later talk about that will inspire you so much tonight, I hope. And we can support them. We can support them in all kinds of ways. First, by just believing in them, joining in their vision with the power of our imagination. So I really hope this evening will be inspiring, uplifting, and motivational. We can continue to help, smiling at people in the street, small acts of kindness, releasing judgment, and substituting understanding and love. And we especially can hold to our vision and their vision of this earth we can together create. Okay. Let's remember that. We can together create it. Let's look around for the lights. So we have a really powerful and precious opportunity to begin what I'm talking about tonight and begin it in a big way. Because tonight we have a guest who is head of an international endeavor to promote and support points of light all around the world. We will learn about organizations and individuals doing amazing things around the globe. We can join with them, and tonight you will be given the opportunity to do just that. What a treat, right? Here's another thing. Joining in with the points of light all around will awaken the best in us. The creativity, the love, the expanded consciousness we already have. It's just being covered up by an amazingly thin film of fear and judgment, mostly prompted by looking out at the darkness too much. In the coming meetings, we're going to delve into some of this growing beauty and innovation. the remarkable multidimensional nature within us, the energetic help available to us, the opportunity to heal, to come to joy, and live the kind of beautiful life we are absolutely intentionally designed to experience. So let's get started, and let's start tonight actually. And depending on the time, we're going to talk a little bit about what we're doing and what we've been doing. But in the interests of Ben's time, I'm going to start and introduce him and his bio and a little bit about his organization. Ben Bauer is Executive Director of Unity Earth, a global network building a worldwide movement for unity and peace. In 2006, he and his former wife moved to Thailand to volunteer along the Thai-Burma border. In 2008, they founded the Blood Foundation together, an NGO focusing on education products. In 2008, Ben founded Monk for a Month in Chiang Mai, offering men and women the opportunity to experience Thai temple life and temporary ordination. In 2010, he launched Muslim for a Month in Turkey, offering guests a firsthand experience of Turkish Islam and Sufism underneath the spiritually inclusive banner of the poet Rumi. A year later, he launched World Weavers, offering spiritual immersion programs in Tibet, Nepal, Cambodia, and Ethiopia. In October 2015, at the Parliament of World Religions, Ben launched One God, an online platform aimed at countering religious fundamentalists, relativism, and Western materialism. He's been around, hasn't he? Since then, he has worked to build Unity Earth into a global platform that can support and empower the many grassroots movements working toward unity and peace in the world. We will be talking about his organization, Unity Earth, and the upcoming World Peace Week, with its incredible array of speakers and events we can join for free. We will also introduce you to some inspiring points of light grant recipients who are working to make a better world and have received supportive support from Ben's organization. In 2021, they gave grants to 28 organizations in over 15 countries. So we're in for a real treat. And in my view, the best gift of this evening will be the opportunity to learn about all the lights out there and learn about our opportunity to join them. So a little bit before he arrives about Unity Earth, his organization. Unity Earth is a global network on a mission to accelerate the realization of unity and peace on Earth. To accelerate the realization of unity and peace on Earth. What a wonderful mission, right? To quote from the website, inspired by the world's wisdom traditions and born out of the desire to meet global-sized challenges with global-sized solutions, the network is built to amplify and reach and impact peace-aligned organizations and individuals. Unity Earth places collective values and universal principles at the heart of its initiative, reaching across lines that used to divide by inviting people of all ages, races, and beliefs to unite in the quest to make the world a safer and more inclusive place. The key pillars of his organization. Number one, Unity Earth is focused on generating powerful opportunities for collaboration and transformation in 3 areas. First, spiritual, honoring all wisdom and faith traditions. Second, social, promoting inclusion and justice for all humans. And third, ecological, supporting the preservation of the planet. So that's what I'm going to say right now about Ben.
Hi, Janice. Hello.
Hello,
Good
hello,
afternoon.
hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi.
I would,
Great
I'm
to.
not going to say good evening because it's good morning to you, right?
It's a beautiful spring morning here in Melbourne,
Okay,
Australia,
okay,
and great to be here with you.
okay. Welcome and thank you I know you're busy and thank you so much for your time to come here.
It's a pleasure.
And I've already introduced you to save your time. I've introduced you. I've read your bio. I read a few things from about your website, just a few things, your mission and so forth. And so Unity Earth. So we can delve right into what we wanted to do. I just want to ask you one question so we can know you a little bit better.
Sure.
I read your background, which is incredible. You are obviously wanting to do something for the world and people. And what what inspired you to do this work and so early in your life and for so long?
Firstly, Janice, thank you for having me, and
Mhm.
hello to everybody who's here. Great to be here
Yeah.
with you in the space. We get that question pretty regularly, and it
Okay.
always comes back to the same kind of story for me, which is um, I was born into it, I suppose. If we're looking at the
Hmm?
beginnings of the story, the origins of the story go back a long, long, long way. In fact, they go back over 40,000 years. My father was an earth scientist. He's still with us. He's 92. But in the late 60s and early 70s, he was doing his work in geomorphology, which is kind of a specialization within geology. He was looking at ancient lakes. And so he had found through the first aerial photography of a part of inland Australia, a series of lake system that was now dry, but was freshwater lakes 20, 30, 40,000 years ago before the last ice age. And so he went out there and he was looking really at the lake system as a bit of a rain gauge, he was actually studying climate change back in the 60s. But he kept coming across these evidence of human occupation. And in 69, he found human remains, which he then called out to his friends at the Australian National University in Canberra, who were archaeologists, to come out, and they were amazed at this discovery. I think it's probably important just to quickly set the scene that the accepted scientific view of how long Aboriginal people had been in Australia at that time was literally a few thousand years. They were talking about
Mm.
whether Aboriginal people came to Australia before Christ or after Christ. I mean, that was the conversation at the time. So this discovery became known as Mungo Lady, and has been dated at over 40,000 years. And it's how we know fully modern human, ceremonially buried. And it's the oldest. He then in 1974 made another discovery of a full skeletal remains. He wasn't looking for human, because he's a geologist, not an archaeologist. But after rains, these remains revealed themselves. So the old Aboriginal women who lived out there, Janice, would say to my dad, "You didn't find Mungo Man and Mungo Lady; they found you." But
Oh.
these discoveries changed our understanding of how long Aboriginal people have been in Australia. So
Mhm.
very kind of profound mystical connection to Indigenous, story here in Australia. And I grew up with that my whole life. And, through a
Mhm.
series of other I lived in China also for 3 months in 1985 when I was 12 years old in far in Western China before China opened up, and
Mhm.
had a very powerful experience of a different culture, a different worldview, a different, completely everything. And so I think these experiences, spending time in the outback with on Aboriginal land with my dad, and the family
Mhm.
experiences that we had, probably conditioned me to be fascinated by human diversity and culture and spirituality and worldview, and the unity within the diversity and the diversity
Mhm.
within the unity. And
Mhm.
that's the kind of the story. But I think really at a deeper level, ultimately, our callings
Yeah.
remain something of a mystery. So,
Mhm.
so that first answer is a kind of an answer, but I think
Mhm.
the real answer is it's a real deep mystery as to why we get called to do what we do. And I'm sure that you and many people here
Yes.
can relate to that. Our callings,
Mhm.
We can try and explain them, but ultimately
Yeah.
they just are. And the only real thing that matters is how we respond to them.
Beautiful. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I've talked to that. I've already described a little bit about Unity Earth and your mission and so forth. And we, the New Earth Visioning Project, we like to support visionaries who are helping and come into alignment with beautiful visions and our own vision of the new Earth. What is your personal vision? Where do you see Unity Earth in the future as a force for world peace and unity? What's your highest vision for Unity Earth?
Well, thank you, Janice. And for the record, I love the term New Earth. I've used it in various places and various spaces as well. In fact, at one point, I was given a vision for a campaign for a New Earth, which is something that's still in gestating inside. And I think for many years, when Unity Earth really emerged out of a collective space, we don't talk about a founder or even a co-founder of Unity Earth. It's very much Unity Earth is founding us. And through many individuals, including Dr. Kurt Johnson of the Interspiritual Network and the Evolutionary Leaders, Reverend Deborah Moldo, and others, there's a very deep interfaith, intercultural dimension to what Unity Earth is. And our work unfolded over a series of global events called the Road to 2020. So we really launched this in 2015. We had the first event at the UN Chapel in New York, at Tillman Chapel, which is across the road from the United Nations. And it's an amazing interfaith chapel. And like all of our events, we had music and poetry and prayer and indigenous blessing. Like it was a real beautiful mixture of forms. And then these global event series actually went all around the world. We had major events in Crestone in Colorado, which is an incredible spiritual community. I don't know if you've ever come across a place called Crestone, Colorado, but if you haven't, look it up. It's extraordinary. They've got Buddhist temples and Zen temples right up there in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. Incredible place. So we had an important gathering there, and then we had the return of Mungo Man. So Mungo Man, who I was talking about before, had spent more than 40 years at the university in Canberra, the national capital, and the Aboriginal people were really crying out for his return. So as part of his return to country and part of our global event series, we had the Return to Country Festival in November 2017. We went on to Ethiopia and so into the Rift Valley on that Neolithic line in Ethiopia and up to the sacred sites of Lalibela and Shashamane, which is the global headquarters of the Rastafarian community. So we had these entire event series around the planet, bringing together spiritual leaders, religious leaders, musicians, artists, NGOs, all different groups, diplomats coming together in sacred sites. We attended special events at the Parliament of World Religions in Toronto in 2018. We had a special convergence event in Varanasi, the holy city, in 2019. And then the biggest event for us was in the Holy Land across Jordan, Palestine, and Israel in February 2020, right before the world shut down. We actually had intercultural ceremony and prayer, perhaps the most powerful thing I've ever experienced, certainly one of them, at a place called Megiddo, which is come down through our culture as Ham Megiddo or Armageddon. This is the origin of that narrative. So at Armageddon, we had indigenous wisdom keepers, spiritual leaders, religious leaders, Buddhist monks, priests, imams, rabbis, very diverse and lots of rainbow people from, I guess from a new spirituality community, like communities like this that live in Israel, come together and do this extraordinarily powerful ceremony to rewire the mythology of the end times, and to invite and really welcome in a new age, a new era, a new epoch. And it was, weeks after this, that, as I said, the world got shut down. So it was a very potent experience for us. So we didn't know, of course, what was going to happen in 2020. And yet it seems to us that, this build up, this global event series of the Road to 2020 build up to a climax. Then in September 2020, even though it was a full COVID lockdown, shutdown, we did the Caravan of Unity across America, which was always going to be a combination. We started in Grace Cathedral in San Francisco with an incredible event. All the musicians, empty cathedral, everybody masked up, but broadcast out this gorgeous symphony and an incredible musical event which launched the Caravan of Unity. We had the Bishop of California, do the opening prayer, and it went right across the United States, down into Nevada and up into I'm blanking on the name of the state now, but it's it's just
Montana?
yeah, not Montana, but it was just to the west of Illinois, and then coming across into Chicago, where we went to the Baha'i Temple, an incredible, place as well in the center of the country, and then on to eventually New York, and finished on the National Mall in Washington. So this
Wow.
event series kind of completed a whole global road to 2020. So when the sense that I have, and the sense that we have now in many ways, is that 2020 represented a breakdown of everything. And if you think about it or look at it, everything's changed. The way we work, the way we travel, the way we interact. I mean, there's still so much kind of chaos in the world, particularly, not just in the United States, but all around the world. But it seems to me that 2020 was kind of a year zero, a reset in a sense, and that we're entering into the early years of what will come to be known as a new era on Earth. So I think in some senses that new Earth is here. It's in our hearts, it's in our minds, it's in our consciousness. And now it's just the early years of that transition, which is chaotic and tumultuous, that we're in. So the vision for the road ahead, I think, Janice, is just more and more communities connecting like this. Both communities that are locally orientated, as well as communities that are orientated thematically and connected virtually like we are today, to come together to really reinforce this emerging culture, which is life-affirming culture, which is, a culture which protects, preserves, and honors Mother Earth and all of life, and can then organize. And organize means, organizations, funding, flow of resources, collective decision making, and impact in the world. At the moment, our movement is still very, very fledgling. It's very fragile, and yet it's getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So our work that we see is through Unity Earth and Purpose Earth, which is a grant-making body, to really reinforce, invest in, inspire, connect, mobilize, and support this emerging reality of what you could call a new Earth, but certainly a new era on Earth.
Well, that's what we're about. You're sitting with kindred spirits here,
I can feel it.
And very much so. And your words are so eloquently said, and just it's in our hearts too, all of our hearts. And in our own ways, individually, we're working toward that as well, in little ways that we can here, and some projects too. Speaking of a project, let's start with the big one that you're here to really especially talk about, and that's the Global Peace Week. And I understand it's the 40th anniversary of the Peace Week, and a lot of us don't know about Peace Week. So tell us a little bit about it, and then we can go online.
Thanks, Janice. Thank you. Yeah. So the International Day of Peace was first a UN resolution first passed in 1981. And the first celebration of the International Day of Peace was 1982. And a dear friend of ours, Avon Madison, was instrumental. She's a peacemaker out of California, and a legendary co-founder of Pathways to Peace, an extraordinary spirit, and an incredible woman who was very, very humble and kept herself out of the limelight, and yet has had a vast impact on history. She passed last October. But before she passed, we were in plans and preparations for Peace Week 2020. 2022. So the idea is that the International Day of Peace since 2001 has been instituted on September 21st. So September 21st is the date, and forever shall be, of the International Day of Peace. But of course, sometimes that falls on a weekend, sometimes it falls a midweek. So the groups and the organizations, and I think the International Day of Peace is now known to 3 billion people around the world. It's our most
Wow.
advanced planetary day, perhaps followed by Earth Day, but certainly the International Day of Peace is the most widely celebrated planetary day that we
Hmm.
have by some way. So it is, commemorated by churches, governments, schools, right around the world. So it's an incredible opportunity to further advance this planetary culture of peace. And so the idea of, in fact, the Caravan of Unity I mentioned to you earlier in September 2020 culminated in New York on what we called then Peace Weekend, because September 21 was a Monday, and we were
Hmm.
kind of declaring a long weekend for the Earth to celebrate collectively.
Hmm.
This year, the 21st of September is a Wednesday, so there are many groups. You might know the Shift Network.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
So they've been doing for many years the Shift Visionary Summit. It's always
Hmm.
the weekend before the International Day of Peace, when it falls
Yeah.
on a day like that. So it's
Hmm.
around the
Yeah.
International Day of Peace.
Hmm.
In fact, the 11 Days of Global Unity from We the World is another a global event that's been going for actually about 18 years. And that goes from September 11 till September 21. So
Oh,
this
wow.
arc from, those two incredibly
Hmm.
important dates, particularly in
Hmm.
the US. So there are hundreds of thousands of global events that are orientated and organized around the International Day of Peace. And some choose the weekend before, and some may choose the weekend after. So the One Planet Peace Forum this year will be the weekend after on September 24th. So for us, the vision was to get all of the organizations that we work with collectively together to declare and co-convene Peace Week, which would
Hmm.
incorporate and connect all of this extraordinary number of events in the field. And that's really what Peace Week 2022 is all about. And it's
Great.
part of also a longer arc that we're celebrating this year, from World Unity Week in June to Peace Week in September, which is
Hmm.
99 days of peace through unity. But what I will say about Peace Week is that it's open to everybody. You can participate. There's still time. You can list an event. It's majority online through a Zoom conference. Back in June, in World Unity Week, during the online convergence, we had 23 Zoom rooms running continuously, pumping
Wow.
out content, incredible content. And we've had extraordinary speakers. We've been blessed with the people who participate, but it's really the grassroots
Hmm.
groups and what's happening at that local level. And I don't just mean local in the geographic sense, but local in the microscopic level. That is really, really powerful and important to shine a light on. So that's what these convergence events do. This year, again, we have Vandana Shiva and incredible speakers globally that are talking about important current events and the mechanics of global transformation that we're in. So Peace Week 2022, it's peaceweek.org. You can go there, you can participate, you can list a program, you can be a part of it, and that's the whole intention of Peace Week this year.
You mentioned that you might be getting Jane Goodall. Any success there?
So Jane's done a
Good.
number of events. Jane's done a number of events for us. She did World Unity Week in 2020 and again in
Yeah.
2021.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure with the timeline we have left whether Jane will participate in this September.
Hmm. Uh-huh.
She may be involved, but yeah, I don't have that confirmation yet. But she's done a number of events with us in the past.
Yeah.
Deepak Chopra has done it. I mean, we've been very blessed with the people who
Mm-hmm.
have participated. Michael Beckwith is, I think, doing the keynote for us this year as well from Agape
Oh,
Church.
wow. Yeah, I know him well. I used to be a member of his agape.
Mhm.
Yeah, beautiful person, beautiful person.
Amazing,
Um,
amazing.
cannot share my screen. There's some kind of glitch, and I was wondering if you could, Ben, on the trellis thing. Can you bring that up? I'd like to show everybody what we're
Okay, sure.
talking about, if you wouldn't mind doing that.
Yeah, no
Uh,
problem at all.
kind of a
What I might,
glitch on my computer. I'm sorry,
no,
but
no,
I
no, no
can't do it.
problem. No problem at all. I'll definitely bring up the Trello, which is kind
Yes,
of a back end bit, but let me maybe just for a quick moment, Jana, flash
sure,
up
sure.
how to
But
navigate
yeah, don't no, take your time. No hurry.
the Peace Week website first.
Okay, sure.
So you can see here the Peace Week, September 17 to 24. This is part of the 99 Days of Peace through Unity. Lovely little promo video in there. Multiple ways to support and participate. particularly through the Up Convergence, which is open to everybody, which is that 7 or 8 day convergence that anybody can link. The participation form is there, and one up there as well. It's free to the world. There's no commercial. We sort of exist through the generosity of our sponsors. This year we have the 7 core needs, which you'll see more of when I go to the Trello board. But this is probably quite important. There's a lot of talk about peace and unity, which is wonderful. And the 7 core needs really bring it down to earth. This is being developed by Dr. Shelley Ostroff and Eco Governance, which is a really good thing to learn about. And there's all sorts of links on the website here. But living soil is number 1. Healthy water, number 2. Vitalizing foods is 3. Fresh, clean air is 4. Physical and emotional safety is 5. Comfortable shelter is 6. And manifesting potential is 7. And this is to make sure that the 7 core needs of all humans and animals are met. So this is a really practical, pragmatic way. So we're going to be featuring thought leaders across all of these areas, not just thought leaders, but practitioners, global pioneers, really, across all of these areas during Peace Week, which I think is really important. This is our Trello board, which is sort of our back end of how we organize everything. Oops, let me see what's happening here. Let me just, this is the day 17. So we have the first plenary. It's not just Vandana Shiva, but with a bunch of other people, our opening celebrations. You get access to all of this. You can register easily on Peace Week to make sure you get all of the invitations to come to this. Day 2 is then healthy water, plenary events. I'm actually quite excited about this. This is a launch of a new Zoomcast called Religion to the Rescue, which may seem odd to some of us, but this is something where it's really highlighting the positive value of religion globally. Not a particular religion, but a collective interfaith or interspiritual perspective on religion. And that's also going to be in room 1 during Peace Week. And the first episode is actually Mary Evelyn Tucker, the legendary Yale University, or is it Princeton? I always get confused between those two, but anyway, one or the other. And Brian Mclaren. And if you don't know Brian Mclaren, Brian is an extraordinary author, writing at the very forefront of what's evolving in Christianity. His latest book is Do I Remain Christian? A very important voice. So having Mary Evelyn Tucker and Brian Mclaren kind of launch this series, which will include Hindus and Buddhists and Sufis and Sikhs and religions of every stripe and color across the earth, I think is going to be a very exciting one. Then on day 3, vitalizing food, more incredible plenaries, including, I think, Zach Bush, who might be known to some of you, who's doing one of the plenaries, which is great. He's a big voice in this emerging culture. Day 4, we have more incredible plenaries. We're featuring a documentary that's been made by our friends Pata Banton and Antoinette Root's daughter, Grammy-nominated artist, and their documentary from Africa on Ubuntu and all of the incredible work that's happening there. This is just one room, by the way, and there's going to be dozens of rooms operating. Physical and emotional safety, more incredible. We're opening a pyramid. Now, some of you may be really interested in this. In Ecuador, the Pyramid for Peace will actually be launched. Shri and Kira, amazing couple doing incredible work with the First Peoples down of South America. So again, part of the Peace Week celebrations. Really, you can see a very diverse range of content. This is the International Day of Peace, of course. There's an event with Diplomatic Corps on human security. So it really does cover a great, vast area. Day 6 is going to be comfortable shelter, more great plenaries. We have a round table to the Great Mother. This is something I think that's very exciting. So this will be, as you can see, still a lot of content to be filled in here, but this is going to be looking at the Divine Mother from a variety of perspectives: Christian, Hindu, spiritual but not religious, looking at and of course ecological, indigenous. This will be looking at the reverence for the Great Mother and Great Mother Spirit across many different traditions. Then Friday the 23rd is manifesting potential, more incredible plenaries, again, content to be filled in, but we have got then the closing, and then the Saturday the 24th is actually day 99 of our 99 Days of Peace through Unity. We're going to, I mean, there's incredible work here happening, Janice. In Auschwitz, they're opening a peace lab, can you believe, in Auschwitz? This is the work of One Humanity
Wow.
Institute. Yeah, extraordinary work. I would encourage everybody to look up One Humanity Institute, and they may well be an incredible future guest for you, because the work they're doing is utterly profound and transformational. Setting up a peace lab in honor of Philip Helmick, who was Shift Ambassador for Peace for many, many years, who also passed this year. And our closing gala event will be on the Saturday, the 24th of September. So that's just one room, but you can see there's a huge amount that is taking place in Peace Week, and some of it is on the ground. So when we cross to Poland, it'll be live. The actual ribbon cutting will be a live part of the opening ceremony. When we go down to the opening of the pyramid in Ecuador, that will be a live sacrament that will be taking place, launching this new pyramid of peace. And the vision is to have 7 of these globally around the world.
Wow.
So it's wow time. Absolutely wow, for sure.
You guys mean business. We're going to bring in the new earth. Yes. Wow.
Well, I think we mean business, absolutely. And
yes,
we part of
all of us. Yeah.
All of us, absolutely. And what we find is that just the staggering amount that is taking place, the staggering activity that is in creation, that is like emerging, that is, I mean, it's someone means business. Let me put it that way. We're just
right.
We're just following the cues and trying to connect the dots.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, and you said that's only one of a number of rooms, and we can get to the other rooms. So I guess we'll figure that out.
Absolutely.
Wow. So you must have at least 100 or so speakers and events.
Yep. I mean, now some of these people may be known to you, and these are the people that, I mean, this is our back end. And again, you may know some of these people. They're very famous in their fields, but you might not in other ways. But these are people who have confirmed to do just the plenaries so far. So Vandana Shiva, I think Ernst Goetsch has agreed. Zach Bush, you may well know Zach Bush, John Lewis, famous.
Yes.
Going down to, we'll talk about healthy water. Excited about this. Sadhvaji Bhagawati is an incredible spiritual leader. Auntie Anne Paulina is an Aboriginal from here in Australia, an amazing, amazing woman. And there are more people on that panel as well. Will Tuttle wrote the World Peace Diet, talking about vitalizing food. Helena Norberg. So I mean, these are legends, really in their field, who have agreed to come and be a part of this, which is very, very exciting. And more that are coming every day. So just to let you know, yes, there are a lot of people that are responding to the call, and there's a coherence. There's a coherence here, particularly, I think, not just Peace Week, the 40th anniversary of the International Day of Peace, first celebration, honoring visionary peacemakers like Avon Madison and Philip Helmick, who passed this year. There's just an enormous amount of goodwill, but there's also, I think, a fierceness which is there as well. Of course, everybody is aware of the backdrop here of a planet in crisis, of everything in crisis. So there's a fierceness here to really a quiet urgency to be leaning forward and to be striving forward collectively and together.
Yes, and I have been intuiting this kind of a thing for many, many years. I had a dream one night years ago, decades ago, that everyone would awaken in one beautiful moment. And ever since then, whether that's the way it's going to be or not, ever since then, I've totally believed that the light is there and will increase and increase and increase and increase. And so you're just proving it, which is what I hope would happen tonight. I tell people to look for the light, and it's out there. All you have to do is look, and you'll find it. And I'm finding it everywhere, and I didn't even know about you yet. So it's a big thing. And so everyone, I'm going to send everyone these links he's talking about, and the different links that we'll be discussing a little bit more too. And a couple of things I've discovered about how to navigate these websites that Ben has. You have several websites. So, okay. So what other, I mean, this is incredible. This is going to prove that we're on the right track here and it's going to happen. What other, do you have any other large events?
Well, this you know, it might be good for 100 seconds, Janice, maybe to play the Peace Week promo video.
Yes, please.
That I think carries through a lot of the messaging that
yes, let's do that.
Presenting. And then this is not a one-off. So we are just preparing. Everything we do, every event is just learning for what happens next. So we're really excited about where we can get to in the next months and 2023 to really build out and build upon and keep the momentum going. So we're going to be doing the 99 Days of Peace through Unity again in 2023. So that's good to know that we're just really building upon that. I'll take people through briefly through Purpose Earth as well, because Purpose Earth is part of what Unity Earth does. And it's a very exciting and important thing just to sort of, again, be aware of the groundedness of this. Because sometimes, if you go back to, the vision of Isaiah, where we first come across the new vision of a new earth, a new heaven and a new earth, and very often the visions of a new earth we have and we feel through music or meditation or spiritual experience are right out there and up there, and we can feel them, we can touch them. But the work is really, how do we ground that? And so that's a very important part of it. Just to kind of flash up, here's our unity.earth, which is our main mothership website. And Unity Earth at the moment, of course, is promoting Peace Week coming up so soon. But there are major events there that we do. The Community Earth, which I'll talk about. World Unity Week, which is our premier event, which is June, around the mid-year solstice every year, is something, we'd love to connect with everybody here. And really, this is a great opportunity for all of us to move forward together. So World Unity Week is 1 week around the mid-year solstice each year in June, which of course is the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere, but it is a winter solstice for the 10% of us who live in the southern hemisphere. So this is Purpose Earth, which is an incredible event. So it's not an event. It's an incredible platform that has giving away money to global grassroots initiatives, particularly youth groups, environmental groups, girls groups, women's groups, India, Africa, South America, but also in the developed world, Europe, America, Australia. This platform is just amazing. It launched, like many things did, in 2020. Actually, during World Unity Week is when it launched, and it's a purpose-driven project. It does rely on funding and support, so you're very much invited to support them. And their website is purposeearth.org. You'll get a good idea of the sorts of grant recipients that they have globally. So this is really grounding the new earth, if you like, by supporting financially and mentoring change makers in Africa, India, South America, right around the world. And you can become a Purpose Earth champion from $7 a month. So just important invitation to let everybody know that one. And if we go back to the Peace Week website.
Let me tell you about the lie we've been living in for centuries, millennia. They say peace through domination's justifiable while building up the arsenal. All the sages and wise men of the ages were guiding us to look within ourselves. But the fear so divisive and the lie so enticing, we keep spinning this hell. Shine your light, you are the future being told. Cultivating seeds we've sown. 99 days of peace through unity. 99 of peace through unity.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Is there any?
original song written by Kristen Hoffman
Wow,
and
very nice.
thanks, Janice.
Very nice. I love your website too. Okay, what I'm excited about everything you do, Ben. I really am. It's like manna from heaven to me. But I'd like to spend a little bit of time on Purpose Earth, because there are some people in our group that are starting little projects, and I'd like to talk about it anyway, because these are what we in our group call points of light. People doing things like that, and we're all points of light, but these are the ones that we celebrate that are inspiring us to take action ourselves. And I just love that what your site says. And the mission is to find and mentor purpose-driven people and projects with creative solutions to our global challenges. And to quote a little bit more later on, it says, extraordinary grassroots projects activating change in local communities around the world. In other words, people just like us, just like us doing things. And here's another thing that quote that from the site that I thought very interesting. Purpose Earth believes in grassroots activation for real societal change. Grassroots organizations have greater longevity and produce immediate real-world impact, increasing community strength, sustainability, and resilience. In your many years of working with this kind of thing, you must have seen this firsthand, haven't you? How working in our own neighborhoods and communities and everything really works.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think particularly there is a kind of a dynamic tension between the global level and the local level, and it's a fascinating one. We obviously, with World Unity Week and International Peace Week, where obviously there's a lot we do that's wanting to evolve the dimensions at that global level, and really change happens at the local level. All change is local. You might have heard the saying, all politics is local, all change is local. Everything happens locally. So I think with Purpose Earth, having that focus on the local level is a really instrumental and powerful way to empower globally minded, but locally active communities. And particularly, it's incredible when you come across these change makers, particularly from underdeveloped countries in Africa and India and South America and other parts of the world. The courage and the commitment and the determination and the sheer will to operate with a noble ideal under some incredibly difficult circumstances, refugee camps and infant mortality and abuse towards girls. I mean, you're talking about contexts which are deeply challenging for anyone, for us. And so to meet these change makers who are on fire and with their light and their purpose and their calling and their gifts are just unstoppable, you can't help but want to support them, and you can't help but want to encourage them and promote their development, both through funding and through mentoring and networking, whatever we can do, whatever we collectively can do. The Purpose Earth is an extraordinary gift. It's the vision of a man called Emmanuel Kunzelman, and Emmanuel is on our board at Unity Earth, and of course Purpose Earth exists within the Unity Earth framework of organization. But Emmanuel and his wife Laura Rose founded an intercultural program called Green Heart more than 30 years ago out of Chicago, and they became one of the world's biggest intercultural exchange programs. So high school students, college students, moving around the world, staying with host families. A beautiful, really beautiful and important project to build intercultural understanding and education. And
Mhm.
but out of that, really, his real passion, Emmanuel's real vision, was something far more radical, even than international cultural exchange. And Green Art became a very successful enterprise. But his real passion was purpose. What became Purpose Earth, when his global purpose movement connected with Purpose Earth, and then the rest is history. So he's really the vision holder for
Mhm.
Purpose Earth, and he would be another amazing person for you to connect with at some point,
I'd
and to
love
talk.
to.
Yeah, and so Purpose Earth, like I said, they're giving away $250,000. It's only been going for a few years, but they're doing extraordinary work. And yes, you can apply if you've got a program, if you've got a community program or a grassroots program, you can definitely apply. Of course, they get a lot of applications, and fundraising is something we need to focus on as well. But they're doing extraordinary work. They have a grants council which reviews all of the incoming proposals, Janice, and then appoints, typically $5,000 to $8,000. Some of the bigger ones are $10,000 to really seed money to help projects get going. But what a blessing they have been.
Yes.
Dozens of groups around the world.
Wow. And I read that 100% of the donations go to the people.
Yep. 100%.
Wow. Wow. And I just would like to ask you, and maybe I'm actually right, the other gentleman, but one of your people that were given a grant, what were they called? Something about women, or women or the universe. She is the universe.
She is the universe.
Yeah, they offer, just to summarize, they offer a connection among teenage girls and young women around the world to become change makers. And they do other things, but on their website, on the website, they wrote this: Purpose Earth has not only supported us financially, but also emotionally and on a spiritual level. Wow, how wonderful! How do you do that? How do you do that with them?
I mean, I think again, the power of the intention when we were establishing Purpose Earth was not just to give money. But really to give support in practical ways, which includes mentoring. So in that case, Laura Rose, this extraordinary executive that helped build Greenheart, is personally mentoring the woman who's leading She is the Universe, which is doing such incredible work. So the mentoring, the connection, the networking, the encouragement, the coaching, all of that is given freely along with the funding.
Wow.
Because when you've got somebody who's responding to a call and it's authentic, and that if they're successful in their mission, it's going to help everyone, then why wouldn't we want to support them? Why wouldn't we want to just give multidimensional support? Not just money. Money matters. Money is important. We need money to get this work done. And there are a lot of other things apart from money that people need, and part of that is encouragement, support, mentorship, and coaching. So Purpose Earth offers all of that to a whole range of change makers around the world.
Yeah. Yeah, some of our so they can go on the people that I know that are doing little projects here and there, not some of them not so little. Would it be okay if I recommend your organization? And I see the site where you press on your, and you put in your explanation, all that notification.
Yep,
and you have awarded the grants for 2022, right?
Yes, the next grant intake is later in the year. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they want to put something in now, that might be considered.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Apply for the grant. It's right. So it's right there on the site.
Yes, I saw that.
Apply for the grant.
I saw that.
Yeah, and there's purposeearth.org and apply for a grant. It's right there.
Yeah. And then if you scroll down, we'll see some of these beautiful change makers and the grant recipients. Yeah. And these people. I've read all of them. I've read about all of them, and I'm so inspired. Really inspired. Some of these.
It's a great story.
It really is. All of them have such beautiful stories. I would recommend that anybody that wants to see that what's happening in the world and goes into despair, and so nothing's happening. It's all dark. Well, go to the site and just read about these people.
Incredible team.
I was so inspired. I actually printed off a whole bunch of them to read again.
Great team. There's a great team of people there as well.
Yeah, really, really inspiring. Okay, anything else you'd like to impart to us, Ben? It's been wonderful. I'll have to watch the recording of this over and over to get everything you've said to us so eloquently too. But anything else you'd like to say to us?
Well, no, just thank you, Janice, and thank you everyone for your time and your presence and your attention. I've really enjoyed. It's always amazing, sharing the story with a community like this that is ripe for this story, and what's unfolding on our planet right now is. And just wanted to, it strikes me when you say you had a vision at one moment, everybody awakened. And it's interesting, maybe this is that moment, because when we look back in time, how long is a moment? Is it a second? Is it a decade? Is it a century? How long is a moment? Right. So I just think it's, with that spirit of let's just keep going. Let's keep going in that faith and the trust that this is that moment. And it may be lasting a little longer than we had in our visions or our minds or in our, and I'm talking about me personally now, in our childlike kind of hopes for what would happen on the planet. And yet maybe all our dreams are being fulfilled. Maybe all our hopes are coming true, and our wishes are being granted. And this is that moment. And it's that long unfolding, beautiful evolutionary moment of becoming and awakening on our planet. So thank you for relighting that in me, Janice, and everybody, and I really appreciate being here together.
Thank you, Ben. It's been such an enlightening and uplifting thing that you've come and done for us. Thank you. Thank you
for the great encouragement, and I look forward to seeing you all in Peace Week and elsewhere as we go forward together. Much love, and thank you, Janice.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Wasn't that great? Wow. I want to just introduce a little bit more to you the people that we're going to have, the two ladies that we're going to have in our next meetings. Our next meeting on September 20th, we'll have Nicole Fitzgerald who will be talking to us about what she discovered called the Infinity Wave. Would you like to make a few comments about your talk 2 weeks from now?
Well,
say anything? Just a few, just whatever you'd like to say. Anything?
Yes, we'll be talking about this incredible energetic that appeared to me in a series of visions in 2010. It's very high vibrational, energetic, and it's been very helpful for navigating very chaotic times, and it's easy to use. So we'll talk a little bit about that and about some other things too. What I did for World Unity Week was I channeled every day. I channeled the theme of the day, in World Unity Week. They did the first 4 days were the elements, and then after that, this is all aligned with eco-governance. After that, there was climate, diversity, and forgetting the third one. But I did a channeling for each day, and it was really quite amazing to me. I had no idea how that was going to happen, but it did, and it was really eye-opening. So we'll talk a little bit about channeling and who comes through. It's a wide variety, and I'll be doing similar things for Peace Week.
Wonderful. Yeah. Okay.
So
we get to see you again.
Good. If you wanna, I'll be there. So
okay, wonderful. Thank you, and thank you for agreeing to come and be with us later in September. It's going to be. I can't wait. It's going to be wonderful.
I'm looking forward to it. It really
me too. And then on October the 4th, we're going to have Antonia Albano, who is here with us too today. We're so blessed today. And I mean, really. And you're the lady that's going to really blow our minds, and both of you are, but you're really going to. So, yeah, we'll have to be very calm that day. So, okay, say a few words. Say a few words.
Hello.
Hello.
Ben was amazing and incredibly inspiring.
Yes.
Janice, thank you for bringing us all together, and a simpatico group of kindred spirits. It's always exciting and just to be with kindred spirits who are hungry for more information and even broadening all of our scopes of experience. So like you, many years ago, I had a feeling of awakened hearts. And so, so in the work that I've been bringing through since 2004, I began to bring through geometries. The first, there were two in the beginning. And I've been working with the golden ratio infinity, which is new to this earth. And the heart is not new, but in combination it is. And the geometries that continue to come in over a period of about 9 years, culminated in what is called the unified field system of love for the next millennium, which is like the next. I used to think millennium was 1,000 years, but actually one of the definitions I found said 2,000 to 2,500 years, or until the next age is brought in. So I'm really excited because this has kind of been an incredible journey for me in learning about geometry as a connection to the source of all creation, and what is being called geometric technologies, holding an extremely high vibration that they're offering us to align with them, and they're coming from extremely high sources of vibration. So if we have the courage to open the door to the unknown and step through and align in faith to extremely high vibrations, we are helping to guide conscious evolution. And that's my gift to bring forth.
You have a gift, and thank you. I just want to say one thing to kind of verify you or support that. My late identical twin sister was a quantum physicist, and she died of cancer and bedridden, and she used to meditate on the tetrahedron. And she had a profound spiritual awakening while meditating on the tetrahedron. Now, I thought I had an awakening too when I was a child, similar to the one she had with meditating on the tetrahedron. It wasn't tetrahedrons around, it's nature, but I thought, that's weird. How can you do this? I thought, well, did that do it? Or maybe. But then I saw a scientist point on TV to a tetrahedron. He said, that's as close to God as you're going to get. And I thought, okay, it was a tetrahedron.
Oh, that touches my heart. And one of the things that I've discovered, and if I can take one more minute,
sure.
One of the things that I've discovered along the way in my learning journey is I have seen for years, probably at least 12 to 13 years or more, I have seen these geometric technologies of love actually on the vertices of all of the platonic solids, increasing the frequency of love and each of the building blocks of all organic matter that we will be taking to the new earth. These platonic solids are not being left. They are being taken with us, but at a higher vibration of love. So that's exciting, really exciting.
Very exciting. And I can't wait to see your pictures showing some of these things.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've got two ladies that we don't want to miss here either.
And by the way, we're friends.
I know
We
you
are.
all are doing
We are.
workshops or something together, aren't you? Or something like that.
I
Yeah.
do.
We
I
know
love her. I
infinity,
love her.
infinity brought us together. What can we
Well,
say?
okay, you're both blowing my mind, so now it's double whammy. Okay. Okay.
We did.
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
No,
Thank you, thank you.
I love Hope, and I love what she's doing. So
Yeah.
And vice
And
versa.
yeah.
And
Thank you for.
wait till you meet Shelley and Jan. I mean,
Oh my goodness.
Hope introduced us,
Yeah.
and I felt immediately, I think all of us did, as we knew each other.
Mhm.
We just knew each other, and I have since had like an hour Zoom with them, and it just felt like we'd known each other before, and we're each walking our own path, like everybody is. We each have our own gifts to share to this tapestry.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
I look forward to sharing what I came here to do with all of you.
We all look forward to both of you. Thank you.
Mhm.
We'll say I love you to each other, and we'll go ahead and just end the meeting. And we'll see Hope in 2 weeks.
Thanks so
Righty.
much,
Thank
Jen.
you.
Thank
Good to see
you.
everybody.